Minister O'Donovan, I would just like to inquire this evening about the status of the Glanmire Flood Relief Scheme. As I understand, the period where it was open to judicial review was to be concluded this week. So just basically, could you give us an update of if any observations or challenges were received, when it will be progressed to tender, and if you can make a statement on the matter?
Tara.
Thanks, Laskin Corla. I'm pleased to provide an update to the House on the progression of the Glashebye River Flood Relief Scheme at Glanmire, Sellbrook and Cork. The scheme was confirmed on the 18th of January 2021 by the Minister for Public Expenditure and Reform pursuant to Section 7 of the Arterial Drainage Act of 1945 and all other powers enabling him on that behalf. The confirmation is subject to the conditions that were agreed by the Commissioners for the Office of Public Works in Ireland, who are the approving authority for the scheme. The 12-week period for judicial review expired on the 12th of April of 2021 without receipt of any objections. The procurement to appoint a civil works contractor for the scheme is being progressed, and I am advised by Cork City Council as the contracting authority for this flood relief scheme that it expects to invite tenders for this civil work contract during Q3 of this year. The scheme will provide protection for some 103 properties, 78 residential, 25 commercial. The scheme will address the flood risk in a number of locations in the Glanmire area and will include defences such as walls, embankments, culverts, upgrades, channel widening and road regrading. The flood relief scheme is being funded through the Government's €1 billion investment for flood risk management over the period of the National Development Plan of 2018 to 27 as part of Project Ireland 2040. Provision for the cost of the scheme is included in the Office of Public Works multi-annual capital allocation. Project Steering Committee with representatives from Cork City Council and County Councils and the OPW is in place, meeting monthly with engineering consultants to oversee the delivery of the project. I know that moving to appoint a civil works contractor and the construction is welcomed by the residents who have been affected by flooding in Glanmire. I am ensuring that my officials and those in Cork City Council are working closely with other state bodies, including Irish Water, to ensure that all of the flood risk in the area is being addressed. Finally, I would like to reassure the residents and business owners in the Glanmire area that, as with the other flood relief schemes completed in other towns, that the scheme will provide the standard of protection against significant flood events, which I know the Deputy and other public representatives in the area have been contacting me about.
Oireachtas O'Sullivan.
Minister, I'm obviously glad to hear that the possibility for the judicial review is now off the table. I don't think we need reminding of the disastrous impacts that the lack of a scheme in this area has had on businesses and residents. In that respect, I welcome your statement. However, it's difficult to accept that tendering needs to wait until Q3, i.e. July, August or September. I would implore you to do all in your power to ensure that this could happen earlier in Q3 rather than later, as it goes without saying that the sooner we get working on this scheme, the sooner we get machines on the ground, walls built, embankments built, etc., the sooner we can give the people affected peace of mind that they have not seen for many years now. Minister, just one or two questions in relation to the process that's to unfold in the coming weeks ahead. Would you be able to clarify, does the remaining work require the appointment of a new contractor or a new consultant to bring that to tender stage? And could you confirm if this is an additional cost to the scheme, and if so, how much? And could you also confirm, if you have the detail today or by way of written response, the total cost of consultants to the project up to now? Thank you.
Thank you. Just before moving on, I just remind members, if they're watching, that we're moving through the questions pretty smartly, so it might miss your turn. Minister. Thank you.
I don't have details in relation to what has been paid out to date, but I can get any follow-up information that the Deputy has. But just in relation to any why the Deputy might feel that there's some further delays, I can assure him that if it was up to us, we'd be down there at the moment building it. But we have to go through statutory processes, including engaging with other state agencies. But we also have to have regard to the landowners, and I want to pay tribute to the landowners and the residents and the neighbours with whom we have to actually engage with now to make sure that we do things accordingly and appropriately, to be mindful of the fact that we don't disrupt them and that we're good neighbours during the process of actually the construction. So look, we have, I think, jumped some of the biggest hurdles, and the Deputy is right in relation to the whole process of judicial review, and I know that that is topical at the moment, and I have my own views in relation to it. But the total estimated cost of it is 13.9 million. We've about 2.6 million spent to date, so it's a significant investment in the Glanmire area. But I can get a detailed breakdown for the Deputy later if that's what he wishes.
Oireachtas O'Sullivan.
Yeah, just finally to conclude, look, I welcome obviously what the Minister has said this evening. And Minister, you visited Cork City last year, obviously during some of the flooding events we had not so long ago. And I suppose there, while we were visiting the various businesses affected that day, you did, to be fair, acknowledge that we just need to get on with the majority of these schemes. And in particular, Cork obviously is built on fairly low-lying ground, so obviously there's problems particularly in Cork, but I suppose I would reiterate what you have said, and just we need to get on with these schemes. And I suppose, look, albeit it's only a small, bit further till we get over the line in so far as this scheme is involved, I do think that, look, just if there is any possibility to shave off another few weeks here and there in anticipation of Q3, I would just ask that the Minister do all in his power to ensure that that can happen. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely, Les Corla. I'll do that, and I'll bear that in mind. I think the Deputy will know this, and Minister McGrath will know this better than I do. The Irish name for Corkig, it derives its name, and a lot of the issues that are confronting the Office of Public Works actually derive from the name of Corkig. It is by no accident, but we in the Office of Public Works, we really want to be focused on the victims of flooding, and that is my priority and that is my focus. And it is unfortunate that I am getting bogged down in an awful lot of processes that is adding not months or weeks that Deputy O'Sullivan is worried about, but years and years. And I'm conscious this evening of Deputy O'Sullivan's constituency, Cork North Central and Cork South Central, and the delays and the mind-numbing delays that are facing many of his constituents and Minister McGrath's constituents and others, and the letters and the emails that are constantly pouring into the Office of Public Works and Cork City Council and Cork County Council in relation to why is it that those people are continuing to be flooded and facing the fear of flooding. And the focus from the Office of Public Works going forward, including in your own constituency, Corla, will be on this watch now, a victim-focused approach in relation to flooding.